I secretly took the small umbrella used by the wealthy boss Jack. I am eager to return the boss's baby. Because Jack loves children very much, but his wife Annie hates them. She always takes protective measures. I observed all of this, and an evil plan took shape in my mind. Every time I cleaned the room, I would take away those used little umbrellas. During my ovulation period, I used these little umbrellas to prepare for pregnancy, and finally, my efforts paid off. I succeeded, but my plan doesn't end here. I pointed the camera outside at my bedroom. I must make the boss acknowledge this child. Every time he comes back from socializing, he is drunk. I have to capitalize on this. Boss, I need your manliness. The wooden board at my bedside is loose. Can you help me keep an eye on it? And at this moment, he didn't know that the camera had recorded all of his actions.
Fortunate. I managed to fix it.
Drunk and overly exhausted, Jack finally couldn't resist and fell into a deep sleep. I also took the opportunity to snap a photo of him lying on my bed. A few days later, the pregnancy test finally showed 2 lines, and I yelled excitedly to make sure the boss and his wife could hear.
I finally have a child. I will make you happy, my love.
Congratulations.
Your husband must be very outstanding. Can you introduce him to us? At this moment, Annie didn't know who the real father of the child was. He was too kind. I even felt a bit of sympathy for him. As time went on, I made sure Jack focused all his attention on my belly.
Oh my god. I feel like he's kicking
I
me.
read in a book that a father's touch can create an emotional bond with the baby. I enjoyed doing so, but this made Annie very unhappy. Soon she came up with an idea. Every day I would see the boss off to work, and she would warmly say goodbye to me as if I were the mistress of the house. After the boss left, Annie came over with an elderly maid. You're pregnant now and need rest. Let others do the work. You can come back after having the baby. Although her plan seems good, it's child's play to me. After Annie left, I decided to scare the newcomer. I told her the child in my belly is the boss's, because she often harasses new maids. If you don't want to experience this terrible thing, you better resign quickly. This woman was indeed startled, and ran off without looking back. In fact, this trick worked very well. A few months later, I safely gave birth to a boy. After being discharged, I immediately started my act. Husband, don't you want to see your own son? He was startled by my words, having no idea what I meant. In fact, my words were directed at Annie. You're such an unqualified father. I've been in the hospital for so long, and you haven't even come to see me and the baby. The genetic traits are absolutely perfect. He looks exactly like Jack. Annie was full of panic. Husband, what on earth is going on? Aren't you going to explain? Jack also looked completely baffled, having no idea how to defend himself. I immediately decided to present evidence to deliver a fatal blow to them. I told Annie that Jack feels very desperate about his wife because she refuses to have a baby. At this point, Annie suggested doing a paternity test, which was exactly what I wanted. The test results showed I was not lying. Jack and the child's genetic similarity was 99.9%.
Nothing happened between us. That's impossible.
That night you were drunk, which might be why you can't remember. Jack insisted on doing the test again, but Annie stopped him. The test results cannot be wrong. This is your child. I should leave this house. In the end, Annie chose to leave, leaving only Jack and me at home. Although he is a responsible father, he completely ignored me, the beautiful woman.
How many times have I told you?
He can't make you a father, so forget about him. Every time I mentioned Annie, he would quietly walk away. Since he doesn't appreciate my sacrifice, I will take away the child he loves dearly. This way, he will eventually realize who can bring him happiness. The next morning, while Jack was asleep, I secretly took the child and left him a letter. If he doesn't marry me, I won't send the son back. But to my surprise, Jack wasn't in a hurry for me to return. He sent a lot of packages. I don't need these at all. I'm not a cheap woman who can be brushed off with such things. To win over Jack, I decided to make one last attempt. I left the child at the neighbor's doorstep, pretending Jack had abandoned his wife and child. A few minutes later, Jack hurried over. To my surprise, Annie was actually with him. Annie directly reached out and held the child in her arms, pretending to be a caring mother. Do you have any shame? Jack already abandoned you. My husband has never done anything to wrong me. Do you know how you were exposed? Because Jack would never say he doesn't want children. It turns out Anne had previously been warned by a doctor that pregnancy might cause serious harm to her body.
Annie left me not because of jealousy, but because of guilt. She
Let me
couldn't.
become a father and watch their deep love. At this moment, I finally realized that no matter how hard I try, it is all futile. However, you must compensate me. Ultimately, Annie and Jack became happy parents, and Jack gave me 5 million, but I couldn't be happy no matter what. Not only did I fail to break up their marriage, but I also made their love even stronger. True love is not a selfish transaction.